please.
Carter. Here. Fretham.
Here.
Modis Castillo.
Here.
McGuire.
Here.
Ortega. Reinhardt.
Here.
McDonough.
Here. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Good morning.
First item is to approve the agenda for January 7th, please.
So moved, Mr. Chair. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Fretham.
Aye.
Modis Castillo.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt.
Aye.
Carter.
Yes.
McDonough.
Aye. Next item is to approve the minutes from December 17th, please.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any corrections? Roll call.
Fretham.
Aye.
Modis Castillo.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt.
Aye.
Carter.
Yes.
McDonough.
Aye. Our next item is to do the elections for officers for the year of 2020. And the first item will be election of the chair. Do I have a nomination for chair for 2020?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Commissioner Carter for chair of 2020.
And I would like to second.
And we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Fretham.
Aye.
Modis Castillo.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt.
Aye.
Carter.
Yes.
McDonough.
Aye. Next item is the election of the vice chair for 2020.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to nominate Commissioner Mary Jo McGuire for vice chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
I could second that.
I can
for you.
second that too.
We have a
No, I guess
motion
I
and a
can't.
second. Any discussion? Roll call.
Fretham.
Aye.
Modis Castillo.
Aye.
McDonough.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt.
Aye.
Carter.
Yes.
All right. Statement of the outgoing chair. Really briefly here, I just want to thank all of you for your confidence in having me as your chair for the last 2 years. It's been an amazing 2 years. We've really, I believe, started and continued the transformation in this county to really truly focusing in on residents first and really starting the moving from those just being words to those actually being followed through in actions, whether it's through the budgets we set or the policies we make. And it gets harder as we do that. It doesn't get easier, actually. We start off with that and we feel good about it. We know it's the right thing to do. But the farther along that journey we go, the harder it gets, because as policymakers, as budget setters, we have to actually make some really tough decisions to transform our county into actually actions instead of just words. And I couldn't be more prouder of each and every single one of you, because we've all stepped up over the last year here to actually implement and walk the talk, and I've been proud to be a part of that. So thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before Jim takes his seat, I want to make sure that he knows this board has so greatly appreciated his bold, courageous, and consistent leadership throughout these past couple of years. Jim, you have been a fantastic board chair, and we all thank you so very much. You know, you are a debt of gratitude. With that, I'd like to give you this momentum of our appreciation. It's a picture of all of us.
It is. I've been there too, though. So that's a good thing.
And your gavel for life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. And I think we're at the point of having the opportunity to make a few statements as we begin this year and as I begin my service as your board chair. I want, first of all, to thank you all so very, very much for your support, and not only for your support in this election to chair, but also for your support as we've been preparing for this annual meeting, and for the support that you will provide as we move through this year. It's so important, the work that we do together, our habit of cooperation, collaboration, and support of each other. And so I just want to thank you, my board peers, for that support today. Looking forward to the new year. And with that, thank you. With that, I do want to share just a few thoughts. It's not very, very long. But as we enter into the new year, wishing you a happy new year and a happy 2020. We're entering also into a new decade. And I just want to note that this is an opportunity actually to elevate the transformation that we've all been building as we've worked through the last part of the last decade. So I just want to take a few minutes to reflect on 3 things from the last part of the last decade, and also on 3 as we enter 2020, our new year, our new decade, and a new era for our county. For the last decade, reflecting on our vision, our goals, and our organization to accomplish that vision and goals for our community. On our vision, we've committed to a vision that we built and that we're striving together to achieve, a vibrant community where all are valued and thrive. And as with JFK's determination to send a man to the moon before the end of the 60s, we too are determined to lead systems change that will build well-being, opportunity, and prosperity for all of our community. To ensure the community that we all want to live in, to stay in, to raise our children, to work and play in together, this work for us is critical and necessary because it will ensure that our young, our seasoned, those in our cities, those in our suburbs, those of all genders and ages and races and cultures and faiths and ability are able to grow and prosper together here. So we're building the opportunity for quality education, work, housing, health, and wealth for all. We're wanting to make sure that that is available and accessible and that all are affordable for all. So this, more important than a moonshot, is our chance to get it right for all. On our goals, true to our mission, we are a county of excellence that's working together with our community to enhance our quality of life. And working with our community, we've defined those broad goals of strengthening health, safety, and well-being, of cultivating economic prosperity and investing in neighborhoods with concentrated financial poverty, of enhancing access to opportunity and mobility for all residents and businesses, of modeling fiscal accountability, transparency, and strategic investments. And none of that is merely business as usual. None of these 4 goals can be accomplished alone without attention to the other 3. And additionally, neither is the responsibility of any one person, staff member, or policymaker, administrative worker within our county. Our residents' first approach requires that each one of these goals be adopted and committed to by each individual and every team across our county. Our organization, an advantage we've built in recent years, led by an innovative administrative leadership team, is our network of strong service teams. They are engineered for focus, for accountability, for flexibility, and also for collaboration. And it is these teams that guide us forward in our strategic initiatives that will help us to accomplish our goals. Our 5 service teams and each and every employee in each one of these teams, whether it be health and wellness, public safety and justice, economic growth and community investment, information and public records, and the countywide service team, each employee and each team is deserving of our great appreciation and thanks for their work over these last years, a period of change, a period of challenge and accomplishment. All have worked not only to grasp the momentum of that change, but also to lift it and move and drive it forward. taking hold of it, designing the change, and being responsible for it happening. So thank you to all of our team, to each individual. Thanks so much for the valuable knowledge, for the benefit of your irreplaceable experience, for the fortitude and commitment and productivity of your work. The Ramsey County workforce is indeed now and always will be our greatest asset. So our broad goals are piloted forward, as we said, by the strategic initiatives that are led by our teams as individuals and in partnership in order to drive them firmly throughout the county. The priorities of genuine and inclusive community engagement, and also the priority of equity, racial equity, are embedded within each of our strategic initiatives. And information and data from staff and community, as well as from local and national sources, inform all our key priorities. Much of the data we have available, as you know, is now posted on our website in our open data portal, so that it is available not only to the county, but also to our community for their use. Thank you. That's about the past. Now 3 observations for moving forward, and they will be quick. Those 3 are aligning our actions, accelerating innovation, and leveraging our collaboration. So we can most powerfully align our actions with our vision and goals today because of the work that we have built over these past years. We've come a far distance, and we still have a long, long way to go. I believe that 2020 is a year in which we are well poised to see our way forward. The information, data, knowledge, and experience that we have in this era compared to the past at least give us a better sight line to see our way forward. We can know more, and we can do better. I'm reminded of a meeting that I was in recently with our child protection engaged staff in Ramsey County, where the work of child protection innovation was compared to the work of innovation in surgery. It was noted that gallbladder surgery today that would have required 20 or 30 years ago, days in the hospital, inches long scar, can today be accomplished with a pinhole and simple outpatient one-day surgery. To do otherwise, to do that surgery this year, as you would have 20 years ago, would be malpractice. And our child protection workers, those innovative leaders of change, are ready to lift that work forward with great innovation, such as with surgery over these past years. So we're prepared to accelerate that innovation. We're also prepared to leverage our strengths through collaboration. Our community, individuals, internally and externally, stand ready to help us as we desire to move forward. And we know we can achieve more by engaging them in design collaboration, those who can help leverage our strengths so that we are best able to do this work for our community. Thanks for the opportunity to share these observations. As always, we will be working together in coming weeks to plan our work forward. Our county leadership team has prepared for us as a board, just as we have prepared structural and strategic changes with our organization over the years, considerations for changes that we would like in the way we do our work. I look forward to your thoughts, your suggestions, and your decisions in that regard, and to the work that we will do together through that change this coming year. Again, thank you so very much. I have before me then the agenda for January 7th. Did we already move that forward? We did, thank you.
Start at the rules.
And we have our minutes. We've done the election of officers and the statement of the outgoing and incoming chair. We are now at rules of procedure for 2020 on our agenda.
Second.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second on the rules of procedure. Any discussion, questions, changes? If there are none, then I'll call the roll.
All right. Fretham,
Aye.
Mas Castillo.
Aye.
McDonough.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega. Reinhardt. Carter.
Yes. We also have our appointments to standing committees for 2020.
Move approval.
Second. If there are any questions or comments?
There's the addition.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that's on number 10, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Yes, it
I'm
is.
sorry, standing committees. Thank
Number
you.
10.
Thank you very much. And so, again, our appointments to standing committees, and there is a motion and a second. Are there any questions? If not, let's call the roll.
Fretham.
Aye.
Mas Castillo.
Aye.
McDonough.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt. Carter.
Yes. There is a change before you in appointments to outside boards and committees for 2020. And a motion is in order with that change.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Questions, comments? If not, please call the roll.
Fretham.
Aye.
Mas Castillo.
Aye.
McDonough.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt. Carter.
Yes. Number 11 is appointment of members to the Ramsey County Housing and Redevelopment Authority for 2020.
Move approval.
Thank you. Questions, comments? Please call the roll.
Fretham.
Aye.
Mas Castillo.
Aye.
McDonough.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt. Carter.
Yes. And appointments, finally, of members to the Ramsey County Regional Railroad Authority for 2020.
So moved.
Second. Thank you. Please call the roll.
Fretham.
Aye.
Mas Castillo.
Aye.
McDonough.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt. Carter.
Yes, thank you. And before we move to administrative items, I would like to just share that there are some in the audience with us today who consider this a special day. And I'd like to recognize those members of my family who are here and say thank you to you all. I see that you're here, family and friends. Thank you so much for being here with us today, for considering it special enough that you would take your time to illustrate that this is an opportunity for teamwork indeed across the county, with our family, and across our community. Thank you so very much for being here. I see Mary Kay Boyd. I see my daughter-in-law and my son. Thank you, Sakina and Melvin. I see Noel Nix, who has worked with us in Ramsey County. Thank you so much for being here, and especially my husband, Melvin Carter Jr. Thank you very, very much for being here. Appreciate it. And would you all give them a round of applause? And now they can leave. Thank you so much also for taking us through to the administrative items. And Nicole
So
Fretham,
I would
please.
like to move item 13, 14, 15, and 16.
Second.
All right. So we have a motion on the administrative items. Any changes, corrections, questions? If not, all in favor, or I'm sorry, please call the roll.
Fretham.
Aye.
Mas Castillo.
Aye.
McDonough.
Aye.
McGuire.
Aye.
Ortega.
Aye.
Reinhardt. Carter.
Yes, thank you. And we are now at County Connections. Appreciate an update from our County Manager, Ryan O'Connor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just two brief updates today. One, thanks to everybody across the county who worked through the holiday season. It's always a tricky time to navigate through and continue to keep operations running. But I just wanted to acknowledge all the staff that put in time through the holidays and sometimes away from loved ones and friends to make that happen. Secondly, if you would like a recap of a lot of the amazing work that has happened this year, this week's From the County Manager column on Ramsey Net is all about looking back at 2019 and the many things that we accomplished. Commissioner McDonough alluded to some of that in his remarks a bit ago as well. And that column will catalog a lot of different things, and it's a really remarkable moment to just pause and look back on the last year, and I would encourage you to read it. It'll be up later this afternoon on Ramsey Net. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. I have given my board chair update and will not take additional time this morning, but instead move on to each member of the board for outside board and committee reports. Commissioner McDonough.
No report, thank you.
Well, I just want to I hope that everyone had a happy holiday and having a happy new year. And a lot of us were engaged in a lot of community and family events the last few weeks. I will say that a number of us, 4 of us, did library interviews last week and interviewed some really high quality candidates. So that was really, it's always an honor and a joy to talk to people in the community that want to be a part of our library board. So many thanks to the people that put themselves forward, and I know we'll be seeing a board item on their appointment in the future. Also, I just want to let people know that I'm fortunate to be appointed by the Met Council to the Parks and Trails Legacy Committee to help determine the formula for the legacy funding. And there's a statewide committee that I was appointed to, and we had our first meeting of the Metro people. There's Metro appointments and there's the rural appointments, and we're confident that we're going to come up with the formula that really is good for all, good for the entire state. And I'm just honored to be a part of that committee. So we met in our preliminary meeting. So I'll keep you posted on how that goes. We need to have a decision by June. It was legislatively mandate that we look at that formula. And so that's what we're doing. So that's, I had that meeting, and we also had our active living meeting before our last board meeting, so I already talked about that. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Ortega?
First of all, I had a great holiday. I hope everybody else had one, because I really made it a point to enjoy it this year. But most recently, we were at Bill Wilson's funeral. That was a little bit of a downer. The entire Carter family was there, including the mayor. But I met Bill through Willie Mae. Willie Mae and I served for 13 years together as peers, her as the president of the Urban League, and I as the CEO of Clues. And we worked very jointly and had joint efforts and programming on employment and education. So Willie Mae and I became very good friends over the years, and that's how I met Bill. The first African-American to be on the city council. He's going to be missed. I enjoyed him very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Fretham?
I'd just like to thank the health and wellness team, deputies who brought us through, my aide and I, through all of their work a couple of weeks ago in a marathon 3-hour session briefing, and also the Ramsey County Care staff for a tour we were able to receive earlier this month. So, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Reinhardt?
Well, I think Mary Jo covered probably the highlight, actually, was the library board interviews. And quite frankly, there were a number of year-end meetings, Recycling and Energy Board, Partnership on Waste and Energy, Geospatial Advisory Council. And so it was kind of wrapping things up and then kicking things off for 2020.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner
Great.
Rice-Castillo?
Thank you. It was a great holiday, so thanks for asking. Very peaceful. I will say the staff, though some of us took some time off, staff was working hard and diligently, and so I just want to give a couple shout outs to staff that I worked with over the last month. Chris Samuels and Luis Rosario have been working really hard about how we're changing how we deliver our services. We had a particular case that's been in the paper with Wesley Pettifer, who lost his house to tax forfeiture. But these guys have worked really hard to think about how we do compassionate regulation, how we change systems. We have been working across the county and the city to find solutions. And so we spent 3 hours at a meeting earlier this week with the Pettifords, really thinking about how do we do this. And so I just want to give a huge shout out, because this is unusual, but it is business now as we do it moving forward. And also to Karen Francois for leading that team of innovation. It really is a star in our county services. In December, the governor and lieutenant governor announced new funds for expansion of shelter. And so But then we got a memo with about a 4-day turnaround around to apply for those funds. But Max Holden and the team have submitted an application, and so they worked really quickly overnight to apply for funds for expansion of shelter, focusing in on shelter for families and children. So a good shout out and hard work very quickly in the beginning of the new year to Max and his team. I also had the opportunity to celebrate the Corinne New Year. You know, we have lots of New Years, but the Corinne community celebrated the year 2759 at Washington Tech, and the governor came by and celebrated with us, and so that was a great opportunity, and Happy New Year to all of our communities, but especially the Corinne community as they celebrated. And then I was able to sit in for Commissioner McGuire earlier in December on the TAB meeting, and I just wanted to give an update and a thanks for all of your work, Commissioner McGuire, over the last year representing us, and Brian Isaacson, who has worked really hard with us to make sure that we're doing things. And we were able to approve, I got to come at the end and approve the important thing, approve the criteria for regional solicitation, really strengthening our position there. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry. TAB stands for Transit Advisory Board. Yeah, Transportation Advisory Board.
And thank you very much for the
Yeah.
update.
Yes.
So as we went around, it's just important for me to note that we all shared examples of building our work, aligning our goals ever more powerfully to our vision, elevating innovation, and actually the collaboration that I hope will be hallmarks of the work that we continue to do together. I know it will be. It's the way we worked, and that the way we will continue to grow as we move into the future. Once again, thank you for your support in this first meeting. Thanks again to my family, including, I should say, Mayor Carter. I think I introduced him as Melvin Carter. That's his name. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We have an active agenda. We will move on to our Regional Rail Authority annual organizational meeting, as well as to our, first to our HRA meeting, and then to our Regional Rail Authority meeting. And finally, today we get to take a photo together before we leave the chambers, and we will be staying together following our meetings and photo for the intercultural development inventory work that we have done together. Thank you so much. We're moving on then to first HRA.
You have to
You
adjourn.
got it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You'll get it.
And so, we are now adjourned.
Just run it all year, don't ever adjourn it.